Half the nation is euphoric over the new Democratic nominees. But remember the chart I showed you for Election Day. It'll be a dark day no matter who wins, because it's another big step to the end of our government that day. Because one party violates the law and the other party violates natural law. For the Christian right, their religion is godless. It is satanic. They worship the golden calf, what their own Bible calls the false prophet. No political party can revive the rotting corpse of this government. The truth is, both of these two parties want to force their beliefs onto the rest of us. This man-made government is about to end anyway, because the dark age of Kali Yuga is ending. And when it crumbles, all man-made governments crumble with it. And all new ideas in our modern age, not grounded in God's laws, which are the most ancient laws, will crumble with it. And that which is oldest is closest to the truth. And I do mean ancient. Before any history professor can tell you how old civilization is, it's before that. Because the Democrats are not a benign force in our nation with their support of transgender for children. This support of the strange and the forbidden and all violations of natural law. This is why Atlantis fell. All of those violations must end. And they will end quickly, like a bolt of lightning at midnight, sometime between now and the end of 2025. And the end is inevitable. And I'll explain why it's inevitable in the next video. I did a recent video on a woman's right to choose. And that might be an exclusive on my Patreon. I can't remember. In that video, I said for the so-called Christian right to say that the soul enters the womb at conception, that is their faith, that the soul enters at conception. They don't know it's true. They just believe it's true. And it's the same kind of faith that is the basis for their whole religion. All religions. They say they know God exists, or they believe God exists, but they have never experienced God. God as the infinitely bright, all-knowing, eternal light within us, available to anyone at any time with the right technique. As many people have experienced using the Transcendental Meditation technique. And I described one of my experiences of God in my last video using that technique. But God, to the Christian right, is only a belief system and nothing more. And without the transformation that comes from the direct experience of that light of God, they cannot become good people. They cannot make right decisions. They live in a world of their own opinions. They cannot think clearly. Their intellect is dead. They cannot attain perfection on earth, which is why we came to earth, which is what human life is supposed to be. Otherwise, their life is not even human life. It's closer to animal life. And it's the same for all religions. Maharshi's words, quote, "If your religion doesn't give you the experience of God, abandon your religion and come to the light of God within you." Unquote. And yet, the Christian right are rabid missionaries who want everyone to embrace their belief system that Jesus is the only begotten Son of God. When Jesus said, "Even as I am, so can you be." They tend to overlook that in their Bible lessons because they can't believe it's true because they've never had that experience. They want to create a Christian nation, though, whatever that is, and a gun nation, just as they want everyone to embrace their atheistic belief system that the flesh is the soul. A fertilized egg is the soul. Or their belief that the soul enters the fertilized egg at conception, which it does not. All the various factions of the Christian right cannot agree on the exact time the soul enters the womb because it's faith-based. And that's why there's so many factions of the Protestants and factions of all the other religions. It is not based in truth or the direct experience of that soul entering the womb. They want to force us to believe what they believe, or else they'll elect a psychotic, demon-possessed, pathological liar, convicted rapist, felon, mass murderer to control the lives of anyone who isn't a Trump worshiper like them. You know, their spiritual leader with his Bible raised high above his head, and a mass murderer responsible for 103,436,829 citizens in our nation infected by COVID. And of those, 1,191,632 deaths. That person to force us to believe as they believe. While the founding fathers said there is a separation between church and state. Their intention is to make church and state the same thing. Trump's latest lie to the mentally challenged is that I love Christians and I'm a Christian. And the mentally challenged believe him after he has proved time and again that he is demonic. These retarded hillbillies worship this monster because he's going to stop abortion. As if he hasn't paid for abortions of as many girlfriends he brags about. And it's their mindless belief system that this criminal, this demon, is the second coming. All of this is the rise in insanity that Maharishi told us would happen as the dark age of Kali Yuga comes to an end. And all man-made governments with it. The Jyotish chart I showed you last time, it reveals a dark day coming on that election. For descriptions of what heaven on earth will be like, go to patreon.com/rickvade. But before heaven comes to earth, comes the chaos of the pralaya, the earth shift, when the people of this nation vote for destruction, insanity, stupidity, guns, bombs, instead of the highest knowledge, and the love of human excrement.